Gentleman Detective. It's about time I finally get around to giving you that video that I promised. So the request was to explain how to read handwriting from handwriting movements alone, and to share the exercises that one would use when trying to train in that skill. And that's what this video should hopefully cover. The first order of business is to get some sort of help. A companion, or if you have a loyal Watson, is always a great place to start. But if you don't have a Watson that you can rely on for something like this, it shouldn't be too difficult to get anyone's help for a simple exercise. Step 1 of the exercise consists of having your companion, whoever they may be, write in large font each and every letter of the alphabet, starting from A and working to Z, until you can identify them. They'll be writing in large font so that you can see each and every single stroke and motion the pen makes. Eventually, you'll ask them to increase speed, draw smaller letters, add numbers to the equation, draw in cursive, or eventually to write entire words and sentences. As always, you need to keep in mind the importance of context. From across the room, it may not be obvious right away what someone's writing. It could be a word, a sentence, an address, or a phone number. You don't know without context information. A phone number will be comprised completely of numbers. However, an address might be comprised of words and numbers, making it more difficult to decipher what was written down. You'll have to keep this in mind when you use this skill in practice. For those of you who don't have a Watson that you can trust to help you out with a subject like this, I'm going to give you a bit of a demonstration. Keeping in mind that at first you're going to want to start with large strokes, so that you can see them more clearly. And then as you get used to identifying them, you can move down to smaller strokes. And you'll get better and better at identifying each character, and eventually you'll be able to have them write down sentences in order to determine what, and you'll be able to read the sentences without being shown them. So I'm going to do a few characters here, and I'm going to show you what that would look like without showing you the page. It's a blank page, but I'm going to write on it so that you get an idea of what my hand movements would look like. Before I do that, though, I do want to show you that a lot of characters can be drawn differently, and that you want to pay attention to these. So one letter that is commonly drawn one way is E, and a lot of times people's E's look like that. Mine, on the other hand, usually, or it can look like that, or it can look like that. Mine usually end up looking like that, though. It's a faster way to write it. However, because it uses less hand motions, it would be a lot harder for someone else to read without knowing what I was writing. So, now I'm going to go ahead and write a few random characters, and I want you to, based on just the hand movements that I make, tell me which characters I was writing in the comments. So, I'm going to position myself so that you can at least see my hand movements without seeing my paper. I'll start with 1. What was 1? 2. What did I write for 2? 3. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now, in the comments below, post based on my hand movements. You can rewatch the same little clip as many times as you need to. Based on my hand movements, tell me which characters you think I was just writing. Go ahead and do that now, and then come back here, and I will show you which characters I was writing. By the way, one of those 8 characters I wrote was actually a number. Now, if you've written your answers down in the comments, the first character that I wrote was A, the second was Q, the third was E, the fourth was B, the fifth was T, the sixth was S, the seventh was O, and 8 was 7. Hopefully you all did good. And if you continue to practice this, if you can get someone to help you practice this, you'll eventually get to the point where you can read the entire alphabet, and by default, entire sentences and text being written down by hand without being seen. I did this exercise, or without seeing the paper. I did this exercise with my brother, and I was able to call out what he was writing from across the room once. So it's a skill that can be done. I also suggest Ben Cardall wrote a segment in his book Monographs on this subject, this little exercise. So if you want a little bit more information about that, maybe his book can give you a couple more ideas. That is it for this video. I have several videos that I'm going to be trying to get out all at the same time within the next couple of days that I fell behind on. So keep an eye out for those, and have a good day.